These objects are recorded by ordinary people, pilots, military cameras, and even satellites. But after that, there is always silence. You are on the TopFacts BLACK channel, and today you will see exactly such recordings, videos after which witnesses fell silent and the questions remained unanswered. In the city of Vinton, Ohio, a biker named Rafael Torres witnessed one of the most breathtaking and at the same time terrifying moments of his life. That day, he suddenly noticed a strange black object in the sky. It was a perfectly even sphere. It moved absolutely smoothly, without jerks, past Pram above him, and continued its path dalsh across the sky. But the most shocking thing happened immediately after that. Practically right behind the sphere, two military fighter jets appeared in the sky, clearly chasing this object. At that moment, Raphael became completely convinced. In front of him was something so dangerous or so mysterious that even the military were forced to intervene. Last year, a farmer named Jorge Mendoza was inspecting his crops in a field not far from the city of Yumbo in Colombia. It was there that he noticed something that literally took his breath away. A creepy metallic sphere was hovering in the sky. It was not just floating. The object was moving consciously, as if it were carefully studying the territory below itself. Mendoza could not understand what he was looking at. For a moment it seemed to him that it could be some kind of experimental craft. After all, Yumbo is an industrial center, and it was only a few miles away. But no company would allow a secret prototype to fly so freely over fields like that. About an hour after he stopped filming, the sphere simply disappeared, dissolving in the sky. And then Mendoza understood. It definitely was something created not by a human. In Asheville, North Carolina, people became witnesses to one of the most inexplicable sights they had ever seen in this city. Raising their heads, they saw two brightly glowing objects in the sky. What exactly it was, no one was ever able to understand. The objects looked like neither drones nor space vehicles created by humans. But then the situation became even stranger. Two sources of light suddenly began to move closer together, and then literally merged into one, and immediately after that disappeared as suddenly as they had appeared. No one could give an explanation for it. Nothing like this ever happened in the city again, and this case seriously shook everyone who saw it. On the 4th of August, 2020, a 52-year-old contractor named Andy Segoya noticed a strange black sphere while he was driving not far from the El Mirage airfield in Adelanto, California. The object hovered high above the ground. In the video, it seems small, but Andy later indicated in the description that because of the height, the sphere had to be no less than 8 feet in diameter. He even got out of the car to get a better look at the object, but that only increased his confusion. He still could not understand what exactly was in the sky. In the end, Andy came to the only conclusion. He had witnessed the appearance of a UFO. On the 1st of November 2013, residents of Houston, Texas, were awakened around 1 o'clock at night by strange flashes of light outside their windows. People expected a thunderstorm, but instead of thunder, they saw something completely different. An object with bright blinking lights was hanging in the sky, rotating in one place. The situation looked so serious that even police officers gathered under the object. However, they could not do anything. At some point, the UFO began to emit a powerful beam of light downward, as if trying to abduct someone. The video ends here, and despite the fact that everything was happening in one of the largest cities in the United States, no information about what happened next ever appeared. Tourists went to see the Great Pyramids of Giza, but they became witnesses to a far more mysterious spectacle. In April 2016, visitors to the complex first heard a strange hum coming from the sky, and then they saw an entire fleet of mysterious flying objects. They hovered pramo above the tops of the pyramids. The objects resembled inverted miniature craft, spinning in place, as if these were some highly advanced flying machines. Tourists filmed what was happening from every possible angle and uploaded the videos online. Many are sure it was an alien fleet that arrived to reveal the ancient secrets of the pyramids. None of the witnesses could ever say when the objects disappeared. The Egyptian authorities also made no official statements about it. This video spread rapidly all over the world and caused a storm of discussion. In the city of Buga, Colombia, several people reported a metallic sphere flying directly over the city. Although the witnesses did not have video recordings of the flight itself, one local resident claimed that later he found the same sphere in the forest. The object looked unusual. There were strange symbols on the surface, and in the center, there was a pattern resembling a microchip. The man filmed the find on video and posted the recording on the internet. Very quickly, scientists got involved and began conducting experiments with this object. The results turned out to be disturbing. The sphere did not react to high temperatures, and moreover, it changed its weight. No known material on Earth behaves like that. That is why specialists did not rule out that the object could be of extraterrestrial origin. Look what happened in the sky over San Antonio. On the 16th of May, 2022, residents noticed a strange bright green glow in the night sky. At first, everyone thought that a meteor shower was beginning, but soon it became clear these were not meteors. There were 3 glowing objects in the sky that were not falling down, but slowly moving, maintaining perfect synchronization. The video cuts off without showing how it ended. However, the author of the recording later reported that the objects eventually left the orbit. Many were sure that it was something extraterrestrial. But what is suspicious is that the event never made it into the local news, as if someone deliberately decided to keep it quiet. This video may be old and not the clearest, but what is captured on it is truly frightening. The recording was made on the 12th of March, 2011, by a man who came to the beach in San Francisco early in the morning. Suddenly, a strange flying craft emerged from the clouds. At first, the man thought that someone was launching a drone, but soon he realized he was completely alone, and the object was too big for an ordinary drone. Realizing that caused real panic. He decided that in front of him was an unidentified spacecraft. So frightened by what he saw, the man hurriedly left the beach. On the 17th of December 2022, a real estate appraiser launched a drone over an abandoned area in Porterville, California, to study a plot of land before reconstruction. However, he recorded something completely unexpected. A mysterious black sphere appeared in the sky. The object hovered with astonishing precision and slowly moved over the area. After some time, the sphere began to descend and smoothly glide along the streets. The man did not take the drone's camera off the object. Later, he lost it from view, but he was completely sure what he filmed did not belong to this world. This may be one of the most incredible cases of a UFO sighting ever captured on camera. In 2009, a group of tourists was in the desert of Southern California. Suddenly, they noticed not one, but an entire fleet of mysterious flying craft. In the center, there was a huge ship resembling a mothership. Next to it moved 2 smaller objects, perfectly synchronized with the central craft. After some time, the small ships seemed to dock with the large one. And that was only the beginning. Suddenly, the mothership emitted a bright light and disappeared in a single instant. The tourists were left only with this video, the only proof that they witnessed something truly incredible. In April 2017, a passenger on a flight from Spain to Germany was flying on business when she noticed something strange outside the window. There was a disc-shaped object in the sky. The woman was shocked, because at such an altitude, no foreign object could simply stay in the air like that. She immediately started filming. The object smoothly moved away from the airplane, moving as if it were a controlled ship. In the end, it simply disappeared in the distance. The woman decided that, as unbelievable as it sounded, she might have seen a real flying saucer. A leak of a video from an anonymous source caused a real resonance on the internet. The footage allegedly shows a hidden object on the top of a remote mountain. Above it, a massive triangular flying craft was slowly rotating, which strikingly resembled TR-3B, a legendary secret military aircraft that is rumored to have been created using alien technologies. The craft emitted a bright beam of light as if preparing to abduct someone, and then rapidly shot upward and disappeared. Despite the high quality of the video, the anonymity of the source left more questions than answers. Look what a tourist discovered in the Sierra Nevada mountains in the area of Granada. A man named Daniel Johnson chose a trail that few people ever walk. At some point, he noticed in the distance an object that immediately caught his attention. In shape, it resembled a flying saucer. The object was far enough away, but its metallic shine and characteristic outlines were impossible to confuse with anything else. Daniel immediately began filming what was happening on camera, understanding that without evidence, no one would believe him. After that, he turned around and went back. He never returned to those trails again. That is how much what he saw frightened him. Here is one of the most incredible aerial objects ever recorded. In Pacro, Italy, tourists noticed a bright glowing dot in the sky. At first, they thought it was a star that suddenly began to shine brighter than the sun. But very quickly it became clear. It was not a star. A strange wheel was hanging in the sky, rotating in place. A blinding light was coming from its center, creating the effect of a star. The object resembled some mechanism or machine of unknown origin. It remained in place for 4 hours, after which it suddenly disappeared. Everyone who witnessed this was sure. They saw something alien. No one ever understood where this strange flying craft came from. On the 25th of June 2017 in Idamex, Mexico, witnesses filmed on video a huge dark metallic disc with a ring along the edge. It was rotating, hovering directly over the city. According to the witness, the object came out of the clouds around 6 o'clock in the evening and began to slowly descend. The craft hovered over the city for about 30 minutes, after which it rose again and disappeared into the sky. The operator still could not understand what it was and why it appeared exactly over this place. Pyramids are always shrouded in mysteries, but what appeared above one of them seems even more inexplicable. In 2012, a tourist in Egypt filmed a UFO hovering directly over a pyramid. The strangest thing was a bright beam of light that the object was directing exactly downward, to the top of the ancient structure. Usually such beams appear when a UFO supposedly tries to abduct someone. But there was no one on the pyramid. Does that mean the beam was directed not at a person, but at the pyramid itself? And what if aliens know about the secrets hidden inside these ancient monuments? There are no answers. The video ends without giving any explanations. On the 22nd of February 2022, residents of Guatemala heard a strange rumble coming from the sky. Then, out of nowhere, 3 bright lights appeared. At first, people took them for stars, but soon it became clear. These were parts of one object. The lights formed a clear triangular shape. The craft was not flying, but simply hovering over the city. The residents had a creepy feeling as if they were being watched by something intelligent that stands above human understanding. The object remained in the sky all night. The next day, it did not appear again, but the feeling of surveillance did not leave them for a long time. In 2016, a woman was driving through the countryside in the west of England. heading to visit a friend. Suddenly, her attention was drawn to a huge object in the sky. It did not make any sound. The shape was especially disturbing. No cockpit, no wings, only a clear triangle. The woman continued driving, not taking her eyes and her camera off the sky. For 20 minutes, she moved in the same direction as this craft. At some point, fear took over, and she turned onto another road, driving away from the strange object. NASA has something to explain, because this footage looks extremely suspicious. The video was filmed during a live broadcast from the International Space Station. The camera captured a strange object that looked like a massive ship with gigantic wings, bent upward for stabilization. No known human satellite or spacecraft has such a shape. Moreover, the object was too close to Earth's orbit. Could it be an alien ship watching our planet? What would you do if you saw something in the sky that completely destroys the familiar picture of the world? In 2018, in CM, Florida, a man named Robert Hensley was doing an ordinary run in a park. At some point, he noticed a dark silhouette right above him. The object had enormous wings, similar to bird wings, but they did not move at all. Instead, strange blinking lights ran along the body, arranged in an order Robert had never seen before. The sight seemed so unusual that he began filming a video and uploaded it to the internet, wondering, is it part of a new military project or an experimental drone? However, viewers were sure it was something extraterrestrial. No one still can say exactly what was filmed that night. In Monterrey, Mexico, a security guard named Carlos Mendez was on night duty when he noticed a strange object in the sky. Bright blinking lights immediately attracted his attention. The body itself was hard to make out, but the light signals were impossible to ignore. Carlos filmed a video and noted that the craft remained in the sky for the entire time of his shift, not flying away anywhere. One man had been noticing something strange in the sky for a long time, but this time he managed to record it. At around 6:30 in the evening in Titusville, Florida, a worker not far from the industrial complex of the Space Coast saw a glowing movement in the air. It was a flat, round disc that smoothly slid across the sky. It seemed that the object itself emitted a mysterious glow. In the description to the video, the man wrote that he had seen this same phenomenon 2 more times, always at the same time, but then he did not manage to film it. This time he immediately took out his phone, sure that this object appears here not by accident. On the 22nd of September 2013, a man from the city of Bend, Oregon, went to a park for a morning workout. But instead of sports, he became a witness to an event that forever changed his idea of reality. In the sky, he saw an entire fleet of flying objects. In the center, there was a huge round craft, and on the sides, smaller ones, with wing-like elements. It seemed to him that the central object was something like an alien mothership. He filmed what was happening with trembling hands, understanding that without the video, no one would believe his words. In Stavropol, a woman named Anastasia Vulova became a witness to an event that made her doubt the very reality of what was happening. At around 3 o'clock in the morning, she looked out the window and saw a strange glowing object of an unusual shape. At first, she decided it was a meteor, but she quickly understood. The object was not falling and was not rushing across the sky. It was slowly rising upward. And then something completely incredible happened. Above the object, a glowing portal opened, and it disappeared inside it. The portal immediately closed. If Anastasia had not recorded it on video, she would have thought that all of it was just a dream. In Cajitlan, Mexico, a mechanic was spending the evening with friends when he noticed something hovering in the sky above the street. At first glance, the object looked like a classic flying saucer. The thought seemed too fantastic, and the men tried to convince themselves that it was just an unusual drone or an experimental craft. However, experts claim that no matter how advanced our equipment is, a round shape is extremely unstable for flight. Without wings and stabilizers, such a craft could not make smooth takeoffs and landings. So if it was not created by a human, then what did they see? A farmer named Carlos Herrera shared a video in which, according to him, a UFO standing on the ground in Garcia, Spain, was captured. He was driving to his vineyard when he noticed a metallic object in the distance. Its shape perfectly resembled a huge alien ship. Carlos was sure. The day before, this object was not there, because he drives along this road every day. The sight frightened him so much that he did not dare to come closer. He preferred to leave this mystery to someone else. This may be one of the earliest documented UFO observations. In 1966, a military officer carrying out an assignment in the Sierra Madre Mountains in Mexico recorded on camera an object smoothly flying above the mountain peaks. The shape was characteristic, without wings and without any visible propellers. The object moved evenly and steadily, as if ignoring the laws of aerodynamics. What is especially striking is that at that time, there was neither digital editing nor computer effects. This means that everything that got on the film could be real. On the 28th of August of this year, a resident of Canada recorded astonishing footage at 3:13 in the morning. In the dark sky, a bright orange sphere appeared. The light was so intense that it seemed as if the sun had risen earlier than it should have. But it was not sunrise. The sphere was rotating, emitting beams of orange light spreading in all directions. At the same time, a low mechanical hum could be heard. The object remained in the sky for almost an hour, after which it disappeared without a trace. The woman tried to explain what she saw, suggesting that it could have been alien technology or part of the mysterious Blue Beam project. What was managed to be filmed from the cockpit of a pilot is truly shocking. A private test pilot was in the air when he noticed an object rapidly approaching his airplane. At first, he thought it was another aircraft or a bird, and he prepared for an evasive maneuver. But then he realized an object in the shape of a flying saucer was flying toward him. He thought he was mistaken until the object appeared again, already next to the airplane, hovering in the air. At that moment, it became clear. It really looked like a UFO. And what do you think? Could this encounter have been real? In Nevada, a man captured a flying craft unlike anything people had seen before. The object was dark, with a flat body, and the strangest thing, it was completely motionless, hanging in the air. At first, the witness thought it was an optical illusion, like the Fata Morgana mirage, when it seems as if objects are floating. But it was not an illusion. Ordinary airplanes cannot hover without movement, because for lift, they need either speed or rotating elements. That is why the man still could not explain what he saw and came to the conclusion. In front of him was a technology not from this world. In 2019, residents of Buenos Aires became witnesses to an event that many called a turning point in their lives. Late at night, a bright white sphere suddenly appeared in the sky, shimmering over the city. Then something even stranger happened. A smaller sphere came out of it. Then another appeared, and another. Soon, several spheres hovered in the sky, moving in perfect synchronization, and then slowly disappeared. Some representatives of the Jewish community linked this event with Yahweh and Yahavoshi, concepts of God and the Messiah in the Jewish tradition. Others suggested a more rational explanation, believing that these could have been artificial satellites. And which version do you consider believable? All these frames never received an official explanation. The objects appeared suddenly, behaved not according to the laws of known technology, and disappeared without a trace. Perhaps some of them are mistakes or illusions. but too much does not fit into the familiar picture of the world. And while answers still have not been found, the main question remains: if it is not us, then who is watching us from the sky?